Finance Committee, January 24th, 5 o'clock, roll call. Mr. Jones. Here. Mr. Gwaltney.
Here.
Mr. Alderman. Mrs. Smith.
Here.
And Mr. Harden.
Here.
All right. A quorum. And everybody have a chance to review.
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and discuss with the reading.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Smith, second by Mr. Harden. Any other questions, comments? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. That passes 4-0. Okay, we have Lieutenant Peterson here for, let's go ahead and do 050122. Request authorize the mayor to sign amended Tyler Technologies contract. This is for the New World software for the police department, and I believe this is, Mr. Burgett, this is just a name change, right?
I mean, there's what was the 5350, I think, or something cost?
Well, it wasn't a cost. It was there's currently 2 portions of their New World software that let's call it like a dashboard.
Yeah.
And the agreement says they're changing the name of it and making it one item, but the cost of the new item and the old item are the same.
Okay.
It's just a
Formality.
Request authorize the mayor to sign it. Are there any questions?
I would move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Smith, second by Mr. Harden. Let the
Mr.
record
Almond.
reflect that Councilor Almond is here. We're in force. That's here.
The Harden made the second. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed by the same sign. That's 5-0. That passes. Thank you. Unless you want to hang out with us the rest of the night.
I go to the YMCA, my wife.
All right, 2504-17, starting at the top. Request for consideration of Lake Street revitalization project. We got a report tonight.
Not much report. We have the signed contracts, so we'll get that over to the contractor. Look to have pre-bid in the next couple of weeks. I'll probably be in attendance for that. Go from there.
Okay. Any questions for Hollis? Okay, thank you. Keep bringing us good news. We like it. So keep moving forward. So we're going to carry that over without objection. Okay, 13/10/21 bid opening held on December 17th, the Lancaster sidewalk project, and I will remind you from the minutes we just passed, the item was originally carried over. Mr. Smith recommended rejecting bids and rebidding it with limited scope. So what do we have a report on this tonight?
Actually, that was the Salter. That was Salter.
Salter was rebid.
Salter's the one that was rebid for the.
Oh, okay. So this
I may
is
have told you
rejecting
wrong.
Well, I'm looking at the wrong number. 1310, rejecting bids. I'm seeing the minutes for 1310 for Lancaster. Mr. Smith recommended rejecting bids, rebidding it with limited scope. Date to be determined. We're gonna need to amend the minutes.
So we're gonna have to amend, I'm gonna have to.
Because that's what so what was the recommendation from January 3rd?
The recommendation for 13/10/21 Lancaster sidewalk project was to carry that over. And well, to accept the bid, but carry the agenda item over because we're going to do 13/10/21 and 14/10/21.
Yeah.
Move them along at the same time. On the same timeline. And we're going to reject Salter.
Right. Salter's technically going first.
Right.
So your recommendation for 1310 is to accept?
Carry it over.
To carry it over. Okay.
And their bid is good according to the specs for 90 days. He said it would be good for, he said it would be good till the summer if we needed more time.
Okay.
Well, I'll just review the minutes to say that you're still keeping the bid and then just let y'all if you want to just reapprove your minutes
Okay.
at the next one if you want to.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so 13/10/21 will carry it over again without objection. The 14-10-21 for Salter, the recommendation on that is rebidding and combine it with Lancaster, correct?
Rejecting that bid, we're still going to bid it separately. And it's going to rebid on February the 7th at 4:30 bids are due, and then we'll open at 4:31.
Yeah, and I didn't have to put it in the council agenda from the 10th. They set that at the 10th meeting, February 7th.
Probably not, because we knew we had to move along as fast as we could.
So you're going to need to send that, you're going to send that out for y'all actually. And it's probably going to get the 10th.
We need to send out the bid opening for council.
Yes. Right. So we can-
Kale, I think it's the same contractor got both bids, correct?
That's correct.
And is that enough time? February 7th?
Yeah, because they're basically, it's the same project, they just pulled
Okay, yeah.
one form.
So-
piece out.
Okay.
And we're advertising right now.
Okay.
So that, I guess I would
So we
make
need- so
a
we need that
motion
motion,
to,
yeah.
yeah, I would make a motion to set the bid date for the Salter rebids for 2/7/22 at, what'd you say, 5 o'clock? 4:30. 4:30.
The
I'll second
bids
that.
are due at 4:30, open at 4:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll make sure that one gets changed to 4:30.
Moved by Mrs. Smith.
Johnson.
Okay, second by Mr. Martin. Thank you.
So who was it, Smith?
John Martin.
Who was the first?
Me.
Smith. Okay, thank you for the clarification. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed with the same sign. That passes 5-0. Okay, so move on. 02-05-21. Of course, consider replacement of train chiller, and we haven't had that meeting yet. so
Yeah, we need to
that
carry
out.
this over with Berkeley's mom passing away
Right.
and you being gone. Yeah,
Totally, yeah.
we need a little more time on that.
Yeah, I agree. So let's carry that over without objection.
Yeah, I just know we're losing money every day. We don't do it.
This is the 10th.
Right.
There's some complicated issues we've got to figure out.
Miss Smith, I have on the 10th agenda pulled up, that's the one you did, since you ran all the hats.
Yes.
I do have in the script that you did set that for.
Set bid opening
It was
for-
the
Oh, I did
motion
set-
for
okay.
finance was to reject because it exceeds available limits 8-0, and I have down in the notes it was set for 2/7.
Okay.
So if that's the case, so we could just carry it over. Or you want to redo it?
No, it's already set.
It's already set.
Test.
That's what I had in the.
Test 1 2.
So,
Test 1 2 3.
For the 10th meeting that night.
I was in Indianapolis, so I can't
Okay.
speak
Then I've
what
got
happened
them
on
lost.
the 10th, except
I
for
was,
the
I
loss.
was busy doing
I had
the
them
invocation.
that
Yeah.
should reset.
Yeah.
What?
I don't remember either, but I remember setting a bunch of bid dates at the end.
Yeah. It was all these resolutions. I mean, it was set.
Yeah.
and highlighted. I
Okay,
think
well
we're
then,
good just
so
to
we
carry
really
it.
just need to carry it
We
over.
opened it, we set it for February 7th at 4:30.
Okay.
4:31.
There you go. Jennifer has it in her
Yeah,
notes.
so we can just carry, if you want to retake your bid, your first and second on the item, we'll just carry it.
Withdraw my motion. and-
Withdraw, you can withdraw your second, Mr. Arnold. Goodness gracious. Okay, there's been a motion to withdraw the motion and the second.
Sorry.
All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, by the same sign, 5-0, that we're withdrawing the motion and we're going to carry it over.
Set
Objection
110 date.
for the bid date that's already been. All right, we've still handled 02-05-21. Next, 05-11-21. My bid opening was today at 4:45 for 2 stormwater pipe rehab projects, Prado and Park Ridge. We opened those, and we will carry it over for a report from Mr. Smith after he's able to review them and come up with a recommendation. So we're going to carry that over without objection.
Mr. Chairman Jones, that 323 is 2 projects together.
Correct.
Oh, phew, okay.
That make you
Well,
feel
it's
better?
yeah, well, they're broken out. He has them broken out.
Okay, I did not catch that. Good to know.
Okay, we've handled 05-01-22. Next, we have 08-01-22. Request to set bid opening and referral to finance for demolition of 175 Citation.
This one, we're gonna need y'all to send out if you could without recommendation pending the public hearing, because, pending the bid opening, because the bid opening is gonna be at 5 next Monday.
Right.
Berkeley needs them to move, y'all to move on it at council next Monday, but you're just not gonna have a chance to review it again in committee.
Right.
Why can't we send it out with a recommendation of the bid opening date?
And you say, because you don't know who's gonna bid, just send it out without recommendation.
Has the bid opening already been set?
Yeah.
I thought the bid opening had already been set.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so okay. So
I was just saying, you're not gonna be able to see-
recommending sending it out without recommendation.
Berkeley is asking that we deal with it at council for time considerations.
Got it, okay.
So it won't, just won't come back.
I don't make that motion without recommendation.
And I'll
Everybody
second that.
understand? Okay.
So it'll be the first and second.
No, Andy moved and
Okay.
John seconded. Yeah.
Mr. Second.
And Mr. Hart. Okay, so the recommendation is from here is to send it out without recommendation to council to handle pending the bid opening date, which is
It's 5 o'clock,
At
yeah,
5
before y'all
o'clock.
6 o'clock
Already set. Any other questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. That passes 5-0. Thank you. 150122, request to authorize the mayor to sign contract to pay 2122 appropriation to West Homewood Neighborhood Association. Okay, this was already budgeted. This is for the Patriot Party.
Street Fest and
Yeah.
Back to School Bash.
Yeah, back to school bash. We budgeted $8,000. It's already in the budget, so this is a request to have the mayor sign the contract for the appropriation.
I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
About this in general. Does any other neighborhood association get any money, or is West Homewood the only one?
I don't think anybody else has ever asked. And nobody else does like an event like this.
Yeah, I just wondered.
Yeah.
So neighborhood associations can come to the council?
They can, yeah.
Just like any nonprofit.
Yeah, I think anybody can.
West Homewood-
Doesn't mean they're gonna get anything, but they can
West
definitely come and
Homewood's a
ask.
But they are a 501c3 also, so they are a nonprofit. So
501c3.
Yeah, they have their 501c3.
Yeah, and they, this was requested last year, but it was not held due to COVID, so they came back and requested again to have it.
And generally speaking, it's one of those things that has to happen during the budget process like everything else?
Yep.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
some of
Okay.
Second.
Mr. Almond, second by Mrs. Smith. All right, any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by the same sign, 5-0. Passes. We're on one more item. Did you budget us 30 minutes?
No.
Oh, no. 45. 45.
Go real slow.
You
What's
got plenty of time to discuss this last one.
with the one working in the DMV?
Yeah, but my staff has been told that I'm that stupid rabbit that sits there talking real fast. Well, she can't wait on the person that talks slow. Don't laugh at that.
Okay.
You think that's true?
It's a perfect
say that.
analogy.
We sure laugh at it. It's laughing and everything agreement. I'm sitting there going like this. I'm like,
And what hurts my feelings is the way you bounce around, you make me look like the sloth.
Did we skip 1601?
I don't know.
Walter, did we skip 160126?
160122, JBS.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready for questions.
You don't have that?
I don't finance yet.
We're not done with finance yet.
Well, I know where that's going back to.
Yeah. You just hadn't done
So he
it yet.
had put up the next meeting thing. He had put up public safety. Okay.
Hold on a second.
Hold on, we're still in finance.
160122. This is the one that I was going to take 30 minutes.
And do a soliloquy.
Request to, 160122, request to authorize the mayor to sign contract at 2122 appropriation to JBS Mental Health Authority. Again, this is budgeted, I believe it's $5,400.
Yeah.
And this is to sign the contract.
I would have moved to approve
Second.
that.
Okay, moved by Mrs. Smith, second by Mr. Almond.
Thank you. That was great.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 5-0, that passes.
Is there anything on the table that we need to take off the table? We got all this, why did I set this meeting for 45 minutes?
You just did a great job.
I must have been very confused.
One thing.
Must have
Everything
been
else was
confused.
so, which she,
I guess y'all are adjourned.
chaired the meeting.
We're not adjourned yet. What is this employee handbook thing? Just out of curiosity.
It has been on there
Well,
for,
I made a commitment
She
to
promised
Councilor
me
Harden
this
that we would
summer.
have something to you as soon as we get through this financial statement audit, so we will get something to you. We've already had a review by Cobb Allen. We're just, the loss of our IT director has put us a little bit behind.
yes, yeah,
Okay.
okay. Yes, my husband would tell you, we need that.
Yes, he would tell you.
Immediately, if not sooner.
Well, apparently the job market's really
Yeah,
tight.
it sucks.
They can't update it.
Yes, it's a little outdated, just a teeny tiny bit.
Mr. Chair, we can pull 120321 off and drop it as we have, that's already in progress with engineering.
All right, so are you making that motion?
Yes.
Second.
Motion to take it off the table.
Second.
Moving that, Mrs. Smith, to remove that from the table on 120321.
Now we got a motion to drop it, or?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. That's 5-0. It is now on our agenda.
Because you said it's already in
Yeah,
process
it's
on the
in
fourth floor.
progress with Mr. Smith.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
So,
what, 504, 045, 0521.
We-
Oh, no, we have to vote on this
We got
first.
motions. So there's a motion to drop.
All of ours.
Motion to drop.
Second.
Second, Counselor Allemon, to drop. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, 5-0, that passes to drop that item, so that will go to council for next week. And then you had a question on 0521?
Yeah,
Did you want
I know it was a lack of tree problem, and I don't really know what happened.
I emailed
We moved it to October.
Abraham, or what did I find, Graham? I emailed him to ask him, and if you email me back, I'll have to go check, but I need to touch base with
There was
him.
an issue about getting trees, as I
Yeah.
recall, and the thought was that we could, if we waited a little bit, that we could get better trees.
Better.
And
She should
not
probably
that,
get
but we
it.
just
He
needed
said
to
he was
delay it in
going
order
until
for the
7.
inventory to come back.
So I was gonna ask.
Should we check
expert.
now before, because?
Berkeley, trees.
For tree planting?
We have the tree planting,
When is that open?
it was
Well,
on August
August?
16th, 2021.
We didn't have anybody bid though.
Right.
Yeah.
We couldn't find trees at the time.
Let me do this, I haven't had a chance, let me talk with Joe and Will, because Will probably around here gets the bigger ones more than anybody. The biggest issue was finding bigger
Yeah.
Let me
trees.
just email
That was an
him.
issue, a lot of the
Let me just email him.
landscaping places around, a lot of the farms didn't have very many, you know.
He's gonna talk with you.
So let me talk with him, and if y'all don't mind, if you can just hold it for one more time and let me see where we're at on that. I was gonna ask y'all, in some of the planning of these things, and I hadn't had a chance to talk with Kale or with Abraham. You know, there's some areas, and I know with some of the stuff coming with the Virgin Diamond, we've got a lot of older, like Bradford pears over there in Wildwood that are in really bad shape. That those are some areas that probably over the next year or two, we need to, I mean, if y'all got some in your neighborhoods or wherever, but that's one area probably as we move forward, we need to start kind of taking a look at, is that removing some of those old Bradford pears, because a lot of the limbs either broke off or died off, and I mean, we spend more time picking up limbs and stuff from over there than we do anything. And maybe start looking at that area and maybe each year kind of use some of the tree planting to address some of those areas
Okay.
that are along in that area, because it's, those areas, you know, we paved some roads over there. There's a lot of new, you know, restaurants and things going on over in that area, but those along in there, we probably need to take a look at starting to remove some and putting some of these new ones back. So just wanted to kind of put that out there for y'all. If you've got other areas to look at, I mean, you know, we put some trees back in, I know at
at Overton Park, we've done some at, we put a few in Spring, and we've done some at Central, and we did some over at West and Patriot, but I think some of these other areas that are high visible areas that are, in these places of business that maybe we could add some. I don't necessarily know that we want to add as many rapid repairs as they did in that one, but, something to look at as we move forward.
One comment I'll make, and we've had retail consultants who have come to us and clearly said, one of the problems in Wildwood North that you can't see the businesses.
Oh, I agree.
And I'm typically not ever for taking trees out, but we don't have the correct trees in front of Wildwood.
I got a call about Berkeley about, what was that, about 30 days ago from a guy in my business who said that Outback Steakhouse came, said just cancel. We're not even consider Wildwood North because you can't see anything. It's such a mess along there.
Am I remembering correctly that there's an issue with ALDOT about those trees?
Yeah.
That's the state right of way.
I know it is.
And there's something about a certain number of trees have to be there?
Okay, but here's what I'm going to say to that. We're going to put Miss Andrews on this. You remember I worked 2 years for the crosswalk.
That's right.
On Lakeshore, and I couldn't get it, and then Miss Andrews magically got it accomplished.
I'll say this, and Walter has a point. We've tried to go in, if you remember, I think back in 2015, we actually, the city went in and we paid graves, and we limbed up a lot of those oaks that are along Lakeshore through there. But a lot of the area there, which we have to go in, as Mike said, with the state, but I think back then, even when they done Lakeshore Parkway, there was you had to buffer some of that stuff through there. The main area that I'm looking at, and I agree, I mean, some of that stuff we need to look at, but it's in the islands and the medians as you go up into Wildwood on State Farm Parkway and stuff. I'm really starting out with being interested in kind of addressing those areas first. There's a lot of those old rapid repairs, and they're probably, God, there seems like there's 20 in a group. And, take some of those dead ones, let's get the dead ones out, plant, 3 or 4 that are native to our area that are in there that really aren't going to affect too much of the visibility of what I know you're describing. And I think one of those things is the going into there and then all the hillside along there. The only thing you run into there, if you start cutting too much, you begin to get into erosion issues. So again, it's just one of those things. I just wanted to kind of put it out there, but I think it's something as we move forward with our planning that we kind of take a look at as we go down that road. I'm like you, I'm not there to block anybody's, vision. We don't want to do that, but I think some of these areas that we could eliminate some of those old, dead-looking, bad-looking rapid repairs and put something back in there that's a little bit more.
I'm all for that.
And I agree with you, Mr. Jones. If we can do something about those trees, I think we just have to include ALDOT in the conversation.
Yeah, I'll reach out to, Kel and I we can set up a meeting probably this spring and talk to the guys from ALDOT and see what their ideas are along through there. Because a lot of those old trees have gotten some age and begin to, drop in a good bit of limbs. Because when you ride through there, I think the couple that were in the middle, what hadn't been taken out by cars is dying out from, the weather over the last 5 years, from the droughts and things like that. It's gotten to a lot of them. So a lot of those oaks through there have gotten in pretty rough shape. So I think it's something, especially with the divergent diamond coming, some of that stuff will probably come down anyway.
Yeah.
Through there. So, it may be that with that, I hadn't finished looking at all the plans for that, so I'm not sure how far over or what. But some of that stuff I know will have to be removed through there. So that may take care of some of the issues I know that you're looking at as well. So.
Okay.
On a somewhat unrelated note, are we doing anything in terms of beautification projects for the World Games? I mean, is that just something that's on our radar at all, or are we just not? Or are we working with Meredith?
We're doing marketing
Chamber
projects, but I don't think we're doing any specific beautification projects
I think
in
the
relation
chamber
to.
put $10,000 aside.
Yeah, so Stuart and I are working with Meredith at the chamber, but we're doing like promotional videos for the city. So like trying to attract
Sure,
visitors
but
who
would
are
it be
coming.
worthwhile to consider maybe putting some money in terms of making some areas where we may have somebody high visibility, like the Valley Hotel or somewhere, to really make Homewood look more attractive for the guests that we're going to see?
She forgot
this summer.
Sure, I mean, I think we can talk about what areas those will be, and then we can come back and,
Well, don't budget the beautification board, and they were the ones that originally, came to us and did the entrances to Homewood, and they did the rock and all that stuff, and that was great. And I think that should be under their purview to kind of look at ways that we can enhance entrances and
Just like we put our best foot forward, so maybe we can reach out to them and.
And I think once the Green Springs project is open in Berkeley, you can run over. We're putting an entrance
Green
there.
Springs, if you go to the top up near Berry Road, we've redone all that stuff up there, and it has that. And then, of course, coming off 280 over here, we have, Fletcher and them maintain it.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a wall, kind of our signature wall type thing that comes in up there on the corner of the Regions and all up there.
Okay.
And all on Green Springs. So it'll have that. And I think some of the other areas, we've tried to add a little bit of signage and stuff to it, but I mean, it's kind of one of those things, probably getting a group involved in it would be good to look at on some of these areas coming in.
Well, and I've also had a few conversations, a couple now, with a company that does the light pole signs. They're almost like flags.
Yeah.
That has, there's some potential there as well. I mean, not for the entire city, of course, but for the main entrances. That'd be great. Where we might be able to do something that would, again, help promote the city. But I agree with you, Walter. I think that that's the reason we reinvigorated the defunct beautification board, is for them to be able to champion things like this. So, I mean, I think them working with the chamber, like Barry said, to bring that stuff to life would be the plan. Because they already have that budget.
Yeah, and one other thing I'll say, and this might have a negative context a little bit, but I over the years, I have always gotten calls from people who were mad about Palisades, for instance. And then I always have to review, okay, well, that's Birmingham, and they're like, well, what? I didn't know that was Birmingham. So signage, I think, would help as well as to when you are coming into Homewood, and then a sign that says, you are now leaving Homewood.
But the problem
Well, I
is
mean,
along there is the north side of it's Birmingham, the south side.
Right, that's the hard
But,
part.
It's
different
hard.
sides of the street.
The lines are all over the place, but it just, it's something that would indicate at least you are entering Homewood.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, and so, but, behind Nina's cleaners back there,
They're
we
bringing the food
did
here,
look to
forgot.
put like an entrance,
She's
like
coming.
welcome to Edgewood or something like that. We looked at doing that, but we never got around to doing that. So,
That would be cool.
okay, we'll install it all I can. So.
Good work, good work.
So if you can come up with that in Berkeley, we'll then maybe come.
Yeah, let me call the wheel.
Next time we'll come to this.
On the list.
We're adjourned.